The GTI story began in the mid-1970s with the iconic Mark I, a car born to prove that everyday practicality and raw performance could go hand in hand. The Mark I sparked the hot hatch revolution, creating a legacy that celebrated driving excitement accessible to everyone. That same spirit lives on in every generation, and none more so than in the revolutionary Mk7 GTI. The Mk7 isn't just an update, it's a complete reimagining of what a hot hatch can be. Built on the groundbreaking MQB platform, the Mk7 redefined modern driving with a chassis that's lighter, stiffer, and far more agile than its predecessors. This innovative platform set new standards in handling and balance, earning the Mk7 accolades such as European, Japanese, and American Car of the Year, solidifying its status as a game changer in the automotive world. Under the hood, the Mk7 houses the legendary EA888 Gen 3 engine. This powerplane is celebrated not only for its impressive performance right off the showroom floor, but also for its incredible tuning potential. With just a simple tune, you can add roughly 100 horsepower and torque, opening up a world of possibilities, from transforming it into a razor-sharp autocross contender to morphing it into a highway roll race machine. It's a testament to show how the Mk7 bridges everyday usability and high performance potential. For nearly 10 years, my Mk7 GTI has been more than just a mode of transportation. It's been my personal canvas. I built it to be a versatile daily driver that adapts to every facet of life. Some days it's the perfect commuter offering comfort and reliability. On others, with just a few tweaks, it transforms into an agile performance machine that lights up the track or commands attention at every car show. Every modification reflects a deep passion for both the heritage of the GTI and the endless possibilities of modern engineering. What makes the Mk7 truly special to me is how it turns the mundane into something exciting. It's a car that makes commuting feel less like a chore and more like an experience. Whether I'm just cruising home from work or pushing it on the back road, the GTI adapts to whatever I need it to be. It's comfortable when I want it to be, it's exciting when I need it to be, and no matter the situation, it always feels just right. So, follow me as we dive into my interview, where I talk about the history of me and Volkswagens, the story of my Mk7 GTI, and the future of district imports.
What's up?
Hey, beautiful.
Hi.
Already.
Cool. Well, this is a change of pace.
Yeah.
I am now...
The interviewee.
Yeah, this is weird.
Instead of the interviewer.
Yeah. Welcome back to the District Guys. We are doing an interview, but I'm in the hot seat. So this is going to be fun. And by hot seat, I'm also staring into the sun. So this is going to be great. And we're going to be talking about the Mk7. And also, I have an injury from the Mark V, and so this is gonna hurt, and you'll hear me grimace a few times.
Don't try to catch a brake rotor that's falling onto a concrete floor.
Bingo.
Because chances are, the rotor is going to
Win.
make a meat sandwich out of your finger between the rotor and the concrete floor.
It hurt.
It looks like somebody stepped on a grape.
It hurt.
Well, Kawah, go ahead and tell us about this car. What is it?
So, this is a 2015 Mk7 Volkswagen GTI that I bought brand new in 2015 from Lindsay Volkswagen of Sterling. And I bought it with very little, no miles essentially, as a lease originally, believe it or not.
You were working there at the time, right?
I was, so I got it for a really good deal. I think I got it for like $19,500 or something like that, which is insanely low for a car.
Well, you can't buy new cars for that anymore.
No, especially not for this. And so I cross-shopped a few times. Like I was looking between, I think it was like a Civic Si and a Subaru. Even though I'm naturally a Volkswagen person, I wanted to see what the difference is between all of the cars in the same price range and the same caliber, I guess you could say, of like your hot hatch or you know, low end, you know, sports car, quote unquote. And honestly, it was like the only car that I could see for the money that was worth every like penny, you know what I'm saying? Because like one tune puts you into like 300 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. So I was like, okay, this is obviously.
Which is a good amount for a car of this size.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a big vehicle.
No, 300 horsepower was a lot. So, but yeah, so it started off as a Mark 7 GTI. I got the last one in the 2015 model that's in our lot, 6-speed manual. GTI S trim, so no sunroof, had plaid seats originally, no MIB2, which is the upgraded infotainment system, and no reverse camera. The only year that they didn't come with the reverse camera was this one. So I got literally the most base, bare bones GTI you could get, which was awesome.
So what was the first things you did with it? Because obviously it's not stock.
No, tune. Right off the break.
Unitronic?
Yeah, Unitronic Stage 1. I went Unitronic Stage 1 Plus with, I went through a company called VagWorks in West Virginia. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys very much. Unitronic, thank you for the tune. I rode Stage 1 Plus until my clutch blew at 6K miles. And then after 6K, we went back to a stock clutch, which was dumb, but I don't know. I was like, whatever, it's cheap. I'm going to go back to a stock one. Or stock tune. After tune, I did like intake, diverter valve spacer, which was dumb. It was the worst thing I've ever done. And I pulled that off immediately because of like basically weird performance issues. And then I went SoloWorks coilovers, shout out to SoloWorks. And then I went BCs, and then I went Aero, and yeah, it was like the process starts. It's a weird jumping across between stuff. Kind of
snowballed after that.
Yeah, I mean, after I dropped it onto the SoloWorks, I wanted to go lower, so I went BC Extreme Lows. After the Extreme Lows, I did a contract in Nebraska for 6 months, came back with a pool of cash. Instead of saving for a house, I dumped it on Aero and the R400 concept kit from ECSTuning. And I went Aero, R400 kit, wheels, and then I dumped money into I got a better intake from integrated engineering, downpipe.
When did you do the interior?
Oh shoot, February of 2022, I think. I found, I completely forgot about that. I found a set from a company in New Jersey, and I forgot their name already. I found S3 seats, red, or was it?
Magma
Red.
Magma Red?
Yep, Magma Red S3 seats for $750 for a full set. So I bought it first, then did the research. I knew it was an MQB car, so it had to just fit, you know what I mean? So slapped everything in, fronts fit directly, rears fit directly, but I had to get 2 different Bentley manuals and cross the wiring to make it fit for that harness. So I cut the ends off of my Mark 7 seats for the wiring harness, and then I cut the ends off of the S3 seats, and I made them basically just traced all the wiring, connected it, made my own harness, and then plugged it into the body module. And the only issue that I have is the passenger side heating element doesn't work, and I think the driver's side seat position sensor is off, or the polarity is flipped, so it thinks I'm sitting like all the way in the front. But yeah, I found it for a good deal. And like, there is a Mark IV R32 with Magma Red interior that's on air and on wheels, and I saw that car
in reflex silver too.
In reflex silver, right? And I saw a car, it was completely like stitched with red interior, like dash and everything, interior, like the headliner and everything, and I literally fell in love with that. I was like, I want a silver car with red guts. Like, I don't know what it was, like that's exactly what I want. So I started with the seats first, because that was $750 is not a bad place to start.
And then you've gone through a few iterations of wheels, and I think the ones you have now are probably my personal favorites, other than the RHs, but the RHs of course are being repurposed for another car.
She stole my RHs.
I did. I stole your
thanks.
RHs.
So essentially, like, I had CR2Ps on coilovers, loved them, and then I wanted to go with something with more lip. So then I found a good deal from my buddy Nathan Hogarth, who sold me the RHs. I put those on and refinished them. I think they were blue with red bolts, and I refinished them with it was supposed to be a dark gray with chrome bolts. Got those to fit. Those were really easy to fit. And then I had different sets of winter wheels. I think I've put on CC wheels at some point. I've put
Borbits?
No, the weird, what are they called? Not the Interlagos. I forgot which CC wheels, but I had them as winter wheels.
Yeah.
I slapped those on for a little bit, and then I had I think I had a total of 8 different sets of wheels for that car in particular.
Yeah, because we did have the Forged Stars on it too.
Yeah, and the Forged Stars, which was fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, that 19s on a Mark 7 is great and all. It's just I had to take away the fuel tank protector, the metal protector, to get it to fit because it was a 19x10 ET 20 or 30 something like that. And I messed up my fenders multiple times, so it was just trying to do a lot to make wheels that don't fit, and it got to a point where I have to cut the body in order to get this to work because I've already at max camber and max out, or maximum out, maximum in, and so I was you know what, I want something else, and I know you wanted the CHs,
RH.
or RH ZW3s, yep. So I know you wanted those, and then my buddy Zach Thomas, thank you very much, he hooked me up with these MTechnicas, and I've wanted these wheels for a long time. I saw them for sale a while ago. I couldn't afford it, but yeah, I was this is it. These are the wheels. And then now I know that these can go wider because they are BBS lip, you know what I mean? Step up lip. So, but yeah, now I'm on I think my quote unquote last iteration.
Yeah, until some plans for maybe a wide body in its future down the road.
Yeah, so like any car, this is my daily, you know what I mean? I grew up with this car. It was my first new car. I've come from Mark IVs and Mark IIs. But the plans for this car haven't stopped. I mean, I want to do a the actual R400 wide body of from the concept car, which is just wider fenders front and rear, but they're all body molded to look OEM. I want to do the full interior wrapped in red. I don't know how that's going to work, but I know a guy, Christian Bartholomew at in North Carolina. I want him to work on the interior of this thing and complete it to
dash.
With the red dash and the red armrests and stuff like that. I want it to be completely done by him because I know his work is outstanding. And knock on wood, if we end up getting the place that we want and the shop that we want and whatnot, this would be a all-wheel drive converted GTI. And it would be in either the 2.0 turbos from a Golf R, or a Dazzle swap, or I could pull a Chobi and go VR. You know what I mean? Because he's got one on his Mark 6, and they make a 3.6 that fits in the MQB chassis. So the options are endless, but for the most part, I love VRs. I've had one in the Mark II. I've had one. We have one with the Mark IV.
We have 3.
Yeah,
VRs.
now the Mark II that you and I both have now, which is your car, is also VR, and I just would love to hear a VR come out of this, but they're incredibly slow. So it's do I care about speed and whatnot? It's my daily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the Daza swap or the Mark 7R motor would probably be the best options for this.
Oh yeah, car. It'll get there.
My vote is Daza because 5-cylinder is the best.
Yeah, it's a pretty penny. You know what I mean? And of course, I don't want to the stigma of the Mark 7 or Volkswagens being bad dailies has got to end. This thing, knock on wood, man. I've only changed a water pump, although we did just get a misfire on the way here, which is the first time it's ever done that. Yeah, coil packs have been swapped, the water pump's been swapped, oil changes every 5K. I treat this car, like a baby, you know what I mean? My grandma drive it, and I do a pull every now and then. But all the maintenance I pretty much have done by myself until I couldn't, and then I sent it off to get work done by Altered Components in Fredericksburg. Thank you guys very much, Josh and Mike Brill. But I basically was like, yo man, like, make this thing future proof. I want this car for as long as I can. And so they did that. So they resealed basically like the cam girdle, and got my intake valves blasted. And it's like, it's amazing, you know, daily. And that was like the whole point. It's like, if I'm gonna drive something every day to and from to work, so on and so forth, whatever, like I want it to be the way that I want it to be. It took, you know, 8 years of the process, but like, it's still my car and it'll never stop being like my car. I don't think I'll ever sell this thing. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Even though I'm 31 years old and I own a bagged Volkswagen.
The problem is we just keep getting these cars and we're like, this is a forever car. We're never getting rid of this car. Now we have too many cars and we can't get rid of any of them. So we're at an impasse. And the only one that could ever really be gotten rid of is the Ford Flex.
Yeah.
But we've already decided we're not.
They're keeping that car too. Yeah, exactly.
It's great. So
yeah, it's a full stage 2 car. Like it's got it's gonna. I have IS38 already. I've just been waiting for the good time to put it in, waiting for all the cars to clear the garage. So once the IS38's in there and I have a little bit of fun with it on that turbo, and then I'll have like the remainder of everything else I want to do, which is basically just small stuff and keeping it maintained, get past, you know, that 100K to 200K.
So when you said the DASA swap was expensive,
Yeah.
what if it was crime?
Okay. Next question. You can go into.
So what got you into Volkswagens?
Whew. So I was working at, like, I guess high school time. I was working at Walgreens, and my dad and I were looking to buy me a car. I saved up whatever money I could. Dad bought me a Mark IV. A Mark IV. Oh yeah, sorry. He got me a Mark IV Golf 8-valve 2.0 for like $1,500. And the reason why I wanted the Golf was because of Need for Speed Underground 2, because I played the shit out of that, and the Mark IV was one of my favorite cars in that game, even though it was like the earliest or like the beginner cars. And the second reason was because my parents owned a condo on 123rd Street in Ocean City. When I was young, we'd go off season, right? Mm-hmm. And I got to see literally H2O like prior to, I guess, me knowing what cars was. And like seeing dudes just flying by like back and forth, and like I remember there was a train of 20ths, and I didn't know that they were 20ths because it was, look, it's a yellow car, look, it's a blue car, look, it's a black car, and I saw some 20ths just rolling by, and it was like, that was it. I was like, I want that. I want to do that stuff. I don't know what they're doing, but like I want to go drive cars with my friends and like do cool shit. That was it. It was like, that was the beginning thing. It was like, it piqued my interest. I was always into cars. My dad bought his like first, you know, like present to himself when his company got successful in the 1990s. It was a brand new S-Class, and I loved it because it was like, damn, like they really engineered this car to suit like the driver and so on and so forth, and so it kind of sparked my interest in the beginning. But yeah, I kind of forced myself into it. Like, got a Mark IV. Or I had a Mark IV black, swapped it to a Jetta front end, and did coilovers and stuff, and was like, sick, I'm on VW Vortex. And
you had a Golf?
Yeah, I had a Jolf.
A Jolf.
I had a Jolf. I had a Jetta front end Jolf. And then I traded that thing in for a Mark II.
Wouldn't that be a Jetta?
No, a Jetta is Golf front end Jetta. Jolf is Jetta front end Golf.
Oh, it was a Golf. I thought you said it was a Jetta.
No, it was a Golf. It was a Golf with a Jetta front.
Didn't you have a Jetta?
I did. So I had
Mark IV Jetta.
The sequence of Volkswagens that had, or the sequence of cars was Mark IV 2.0. It was a Mark II 1.8 Digifont 2 Jetta in Alpine White. I loved that car. That was my favorite car. It had Mark III interior, had 16x8 Diamond Racing Steelies, G60 fender flares. I think the ground or something went up with the fuel pump, and the fuel pump stuck on overnight. So we swapped the 1.8 out for a 2.0 ABA. That was my first swap I ever did at like the age of 20. Trying to get that to go to work. That was a pain in the ass. So I did the ABA swap on that. I regretfully sold that car. I got an LS400, 1993. ECU died, of course. Fixed the ECU, drove that for a little bit, bought a 1.8 turbo Jetta with a character kit. Love that car too, but it like couldn't go into fifth, and water pump died, and just so many issues with that car. Front end was always missing, and so on and so forth. And like I ended up just selling that car for way less than what I paid for it. And then I got let's see, I got another Mark II VR GTI. That lasted me all like 6 months until the chain guides went, and I was still a broke kid.
And that was white too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was Alpine white. Loved the fuck out of that car. That car died. I was working in a dealership, not making a lot of money, and my parents were like, you need to buy something to take you to work. So my parents co-signed on a lease on this car for me, which was solid because that helped me through. And then like my entire life changed, and I got into the IT career, and I started contracting, and then like my income started going up and up and up and up and up. And so I was like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I'm putting money into this car, but I also now want a project car. So then I bought another Mark II. And
that's the one you tracked, right?
Yep.
That Mark II.
Yep.
Okay.
Set that up to the track, me and my buddies. Thank you very much, Nate, Matt, and all the guys, New Concepts. All my homies that helped me out with that car. We got that thing going up, took it to Summit Point, did track cross. Car did great, valve seals were going, and I think after like a year and some, I basically, or it was a year, 2 years, I sold that car and just like kept this one. And then I met you, which was the best thing that's ever happened to me. And all of a sudden we have, you know, three Project Volkswagens and a Project B5, and, you know, we have district imports, and now we've got, you know, a plethora of project cars that are filling all of the needs. But yeah, it started off because I was kind of I was always interested in golfs, but like when I had the decision to buy a car, you know, 18 years old, 17 years old, it was like, shit, I mean, I'm just gonna buy whatever I can. Let me get a $1,500, $2,000, you know, shitty Mark IV. And yeah, and I've met way too many people, way too many friends and all that since then. It's been a ride.
It's the best way to make friends. You want friends? Get a car.
Get a car.
Get a Volkswagen.
Get a car and go to your friends' places and build them with them. You know what I mean? Because like that's all my friends we've either wrenched together with. All my closest friends I've wrenched with, and you know, built cars together. So
spend time with your homies.
Doing car stuff.
Build the cars. Make those relationships.
Yeah.
Because I mean, most if not all of my friends literally have been through cars.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like my entire. I don't have a lot of like other friends that are not related to cars, and it's primarily because of the
if
like,
they're not into cars, they're into
video games or gun stuff. Like it's just like hobby friends. I don't have normal friends. But yeah, so it's been quite an adventure with this car. Like this car means, I think, the most to me, because to other people it's like it's not worth anything. You know what I mean? It's just a regular
shitty ass Volkswagen. Yeah. Everyone else like, God, what's wrong with these? What's wrong with
the fenders and whatnot? Everything's broken.
Why does it sit so low?
Yeah, it's like it's a GTI S, like it's a base model from 2015, which I think arguably people say that the turbos were the worst, but this thing is the stock IS20 is holding up. But like I grew up with this thing, like, you know what I mean? Like going through my professional career and relationships and friendships and so on and so forth, and like this car and I
part of you now.
Yeah, like Zane said with his E30, which is arguably way cooler, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, that is a fantastic build. This car was like, it's like that for me, and maybe to other people it's like, that's weird, it's just a normal ass Golf. But like I did everything. I've wrenched, I've turned almost every single bolt on this car short from the motor, and I've still pulled the trans out to do the clutch when we did the stage 2 clutch with Kevin. Thank you very much.
Yep. And the engine hoist that I have.
Yep.
Handy.
Oh yeah, and I thought it wouldn't, and it finally did. And like all the suspension and trying to get everything right, and obviously like I got a lot of things wrong. You can tell my rear fenders are all messed up from trying to make things not fitting.
That's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah, to block the fenders. But like everything has just been like a sequence of learning and putting things together, and like his car has just proven me time and time again, and like it loves being driven. It's a good daily. It gets almost 30 miles per gallon, and it's fun as hell. And I made so many friends with this thing, so I'm really excited about it. It's like, this is my favorite car by far.
So as far as future content for this thing, it's mostly, for the time being, just going to be maintenance stuff. I mean, we don't have any big things planned for this.
Yeah, if I can try my hand at body work, I will.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, I will. If this car means a lot to you, just don't.
Yeah, but I like doing everything to it too. It also depends on the future of like DI.
You want to learn how to weld? Mark II. There you go.
I'm just gonna
floor pans. Weld the puppies in.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Yeah.
So, just to run through a couple of the district imports future plans. I know we covered some in our, 2024 recap, but what are some of the things we have going on for 2025?
So,
26?
District imports started off. So it depends, right? The future depends. District imports started off as I wanted to import cool cars, get to drive them for a little bit, get my opinion on them, based on what it is, and then sell it to people, and then kind of either tailor experiences of selling a car, like, hey, you want this car because of this reason, or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it started off in 2022. It was like, I want to be able to like deal cool, like arguably cooler cars than what the US has gotten. So I started off with like Japanese imports and motors, so on and so forth. Now the goal is to bring in like non-USDM European cars, things that we don't get in or that weren't marketed towards, like, even like a Mark V with the VR5 or Mark IV with the VR5, or like 7 Series BMWs, like an E30,
and even possibly
E20.
USDM cars that were exclusive overseas that the US didn't.
Right. Yeah, like even like a Mondeo would be sweet.
Holdens?
Yeah, a Holden or a Mondeo would be sweet. Like the whole concept of DI was supposed to be in importing cars. When I realized that from all the support that I got that YouTube would be a thing, I wanted to start doing a combination of different things. So District Imports now is going to focus on the media aspect while we set up for the import side. But District Imports will, in the future, do more interviews on people's cars who've had their cars for quite a long time, or people like, Zane and Jeff and Nate and Jay Park and like all the interviews that I've done so far. The reason why I chose, and like Ronald, for instance, the reason why I chose those cars were because those people have spent a lot of time picking the modifications for their cars and then working with what they have in like their playing field and building stories with their cars, and they've had them for quite a long time.
And we're going to have a lot of part 2s on those too.
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
A lot of these were filmed when it was arguably
in the beginning stages.
Very cold as well.
Right.
So
like the goal would be to continue to do those interviews with people, because I love the stories that people have with their cars. Because for me, modifying cars and building cars was never about what people thought about my car. It was what I wanted to do and what objective I wanted to achieve. And all of my friends locally, like the people, and actually not even locally, all of my friends so far that I've met on the way, they always have some kind of story. It's very rich with the reasons and whatnot. There's like emotions and passion.
It's a lot of community too.
Exactly. So that, and then my second thing is hopefully, again, knock on wood, if DI continues in the way that we're going and, continuing to be successful, like when we get a shop, I'm going to manifest that, like Ross keeps saying that I have to manifest it. When we get a shop, I want to be able to teach the younger generation on how to modify cars. And so the goal would be, we get a shop and monthly I do some sort of like, thing where kids, I pick one person, they would do a modification like suspension or something, or they want to do, maintenance or whatever. And then we pick one person, we do work on their car, and then we get a couple of other people in there to watch, like people that are new to the car community, and start repairing the relationships of what we used to have with the car community and start bringing that together. Because like nowadays, like the influence is really piss poor in my opinion.
Takeover kids, TikTok kids.
Not even just that, it's more like people started buying cars, building cars, and doing things with cars, and it was because of the attention that they get for the community. And this is a large argument that you could have for years, and there's multiple different opinions on it. And again, who am I? This is just my opinion. But the culture of car community failed or was failing people like the younger generation, when the attention was no longer about what the car can do for that person. It was, or when the attention became what the car can do for that person. Like, I'm going to build this car and put this and this and this on it and put it all in a firm and struggle financially or whatever. I'm just talking shit, but I'm going to do all of this and then post it, you know, and try to get as much attention as I can. But then, like, they sell the car a year later. This happens often. They sell the car a year later, 2 years later, whatever, because then it fizzled out, or it's no longer, you know, something. It's you know what I mean? And like the touch is gone. It's like, I want to bring it back to where people used to work on cars and build cars and, you know, talk to each other about what they've done to them and what they're doing and stuff like that, and like what their plans of the future are and why they want to do things, like modifying a car for purpose. Coming back together and doing things with your friends and your homies. Like, I started off doing stuff in the garage of my parents' house, and like friends were just like, "Yo, I've got a bunch of hand tools that I bought, you know what I mean, from Harbor Freight, and put it in this bag. Let's go put on coilovers," you know what I mean, and like going off of like what we had to do that, and that is like, I arguably, if I could go back to what it used to be, that's what I miss the most, is just like doing stuff in like a garage with like the homies. And we do that now, you know what I mean? Because we don't have a shop. But like, to be able to like teach people or bring that touch in the car community again, that's really what I want DI to be in the future. That's aside from making money and being able to like, you know, purchase vehicles and then sell them and keep the actual, you know, business and the shop afloat. Like, my main focus would be being able to bring people's cars and do installs for free and be like, hey man, like your control arms need replacement, or you need this, and like these are the things you got to look for, and like making that touch come back, you know what I mean? Like bringing it all back to, hey, we're doing this for cars. We're not doing this for Instagram likes or fucking TikTok or whatever. Like, we're doing this because we love this, because there are people actively trying to take this away from us.
That's right.
So like you got to love what you got. So, but yeah, that's the future for DI. Outside, like, I'm going to continue to make, you know, videos and whatnot with you and TJ, thank you very much, and like with all the homies, and just making things about, you know, car shit again, because like we could lose all of this. So
I just want like 2012 back.
Yeah.
Let's bring back like 2012 Volkswagen, and even before that, but I was a child, so like 2012 for me, like 2012 to 2015 was like peak VW culture. Like H2O, SOWO. I mean, Wookiees in the Woods is still around, but like all those, I mean, you had Woosta too, because when I lived out west, obviously Woosta was a big thing. And a lot of these shows are gone.
Yeah.
You know, H2O's gone, SOWO's gone, you have Alpine, but I mean...
Yeah, people keep fucking it up for other people.
Exactly.
Because they have no interest in the cars, it's just whatever they could do to fuck things up for other... And like, I've had some shitty, like H2O 2019, like...
Yeah, I stopped going after like 2016.
I'm not doing burnouts or doing anything illegal, you know what I mean? But like, I guess like at some point I forgot, like, and we were like, hey man, fucking do a burnout or whatever. And like, looking back, hindsight, like that was really stupid, because it was not adding... Like, I take full responsibility and like part of the ruining of H2O, because like that time,
alcohol-induced ruination.
Yeah, at the time, like people were doing burnouts all over the place, and like, all right, cool, man, do a burnout. And like, yeah, now I regret it, because H2O was like my favorite. It was like growing up and going every single year since like 2010. It like, or 2011. Like, it sucks that it's gone. So it's hard to fill that space in. So, but yeah, I mean, the goal is to bring it back. I'm tired of like the negativity of how everything's gone and how people are just like trying to do Instagram posts and shit for like I'm tired of hearing about like how it's bad and like the videos on YouTube. This is what happened to the car scene and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I love that they're bringing attention towards it, but I think it's time to start working towards it and actually like putting on the pants and start repairing the community and start showing, the normal people that are your neighbors and, you know, other people in the area, that we're modifying cars not to fuck up, you know, things around you. But this is my hobby, and like we drive it on the roads, you know what I mean? But like I'm just another person, and I'm another, you know, considerable human being to the community, I guess, something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just a guy, I like cars. So
Deep down at heart, you're just a Mark IV kid.
Yeah. God, I missed that Mark IV R32.
Well,
yeah.
we can pick it up soon, because Fortune emailed today and said that the coilovers are complete.
I can't wait. I can't wait to drive that car, especially with those coilovers.
And it's just in time for beautiful weather.
I know.
And
60
with that,
degrees. Yep.
I think that concludes all the questions I had for you.
Well, thank you for having me.
No problem.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
The only other question is, what are we going to go eat?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, babe, let's get something to eat. But yeah, all right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure
comment and subscribe.
I read the comments. Somebody asked about what this was or more info on this car. Feel free to keep messaging me about that. I made this because of that. Or we set this up.
Spoiler, no idea what it is.
Yeah, no idea what the spoiler is.
He bought it off Facebook Marketplace.
Like $100. I can't figure it out. I have a guy who's going to be making what's it called? A mold out of it. So if we make a mold out of it and someone's interested in buying one, I can put you in contact with them. But yeah, yeah, this is my baby, and I appreciate you guys, you know, listening in. Thanks, baby, for giving me an interview.
No problem.
And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See what we got for us in the next one. Oh, that was good.